welcome to the vlog. We are gonna talk all about my body recomposition, my wedding day goals, like all of the things in this vlog. I know I mentioned it quite a few vlogs back, and then there was just so many other things I wanted to talk about with you guys that it just like naturally didn't come up. And our weekend was just like a little bit different than a typical weekend, and I'm home alone today, which is actually perfect because I was like, let me order the groceries and I can talk you through like an entire grocery haul, what I'm doing, my intention behind things. Because usually me and Jake are so like systematic, we just like get shit done together that it just would almost make it more complicated to film it if I was with Jake. Anyways, I'm gonna unload this, put it into piles, and then explain my rationale behind why I got what I got. And I'm really excited because, I don't know, I just think it's gonna be really helpful. This is like stuff that I talk about with my virtual clients, so I feel like you're getting the insider tea on virtual coaching, and then also all of the insider tea on like why I'm doing what I'm doing. I have absolutely everything laid out. I do want to just give a little warning. I am going to be talking about calories, protein, numbers when it comes to food. If that's something like you feel like isn't good information for you specifically to hear, feel free to skip ahead. I won't be offended. It won't bother me. I want you to do what's best for you. I kind of categorized this the best that I could. This right here is breakfast options, and I already have some of the items that I already need. We love to have eggs with sourdough. We already have sourdough, and then I always get some sort of fiber. So when I'm thinking of a meal, I'm thinking of protein, fat, carbs, fiber. Luca is here. He's being very needy right now. So we always get these pasture-raised eggs. I get them specifically because I really like the way that their animals are treated. That's very important to me. So we have our eggs. We have two different sources of fiber. I have raspberries and I have strawberries. And then for the days where we're feeling really busy, we don't want to cook, I also like to have options. So I have these Jimmy Dean breakfast sandwiches, and then I also have this Kodiak cake French toast. What I love about this French toast is it does have 10 grams of protein, and these take literally 10 minutes to make in your air fryer. So quick and easy. And then on those days where I feel like I need a little bit more protein, I love these little Oikos remixes. These have 11 grams of protein, plus they're really fun because this one's literally like an Oreo. And then this one here is salted pretzel. So I have a couple of those on hand. We already have some in the fridge for Jake, so he's set on that. This is some of our beverages. So I'll talk a little bit more about this in a little bit, but we always get Diet Coke and then we always get sparkling water. This is Jake's current favorite. This is the Good and Gather Mini Tropical Splash. And then here are our meals. So this is a meal right here. This is Sloppy Joe's. This is one of our favorites. We literally just use the old school manwich. Super quick, easy meal. Also provides 2 extra meals for us. So I have an onion here. I have grass-fed beef. We try and get this as often as we can, and we also like to get the lean version. So this is 90-10. If we have to get 85-15, it's totally fine, but I prefer to get as lean as possible. Neither of us like fat in our meat at all, so this is great for us. I have a salad kit for our fiber. I have some fries because, again, just like super quick, easy. We keep these on hand at all times. I have buns as well. And then kind of in the same categories, we're gonna use half of this onion for the Sloppy Joes, half of this onion for our pasta. We always make pasta every single week as well. So we like to get penne. I prefer to get organic, especially when it comes to grains, to avoid any glyphosates. However, Target got rid of all of their freaking organic, which is so annoying. So we get penne, it's our favorite shape. Again, we have the grass-fed beef, half of this onion, and then another salad kit for our fiber. I have a meal prep option here for me. I have found that meal prepping twice in the week is great for me. So we'll meal prep on Monday, and then I'll usually meal prep again on like Wednesday, Thursday to get me through the weekend. So I have some chicken breast here. This is for my buffalo chicken dip, of course. Laughing cow cheese, the ranch seasoning, and carrots. I already have everything else for this meal, so this was super easy. A new meal that we've been obsessed with are burger bowls, so we needed almost everything for that. I have our beef, our potatoes, lettuce. I am a little sad because this lettuce is a little bit scary, but that's fine. Grillos, we've been obsessed with these. A whole onion so we can do caramelized onions with it. And then we struggled with the sauce last time, so I wanted to get a few options. I got this Primal Kitchen special sauce. I love Primal Kitchen because they use avocado oil and like really, really fresh ingredients in their sauces. So this kind of looks like maybe like a Big Mac type of sauce. And then just in case we don't like that, I also got this triple garlic aioli because who doesn't love an aioli? Yum, yum, yum. And then I also got mayo just in case we want to just make like a mayo ketchup moment. So a couple sauces here. This is just a restock for us. This is the Japanese barbecue sauce. We're almost out and this stuff is freaking incredible. I don't like barbecue sauce. This kind of tastes more like a soy sauce moment. And then one other meal we already have everything for is steak bowls / steak quesadillas. So all we needed for that was tortillas. And then a couple more fiber options here. I have organic Honeycrisp apples, sumo oranges, literally my favorite fruit. They are so good and the season is really short and they're quite pricey. So when it's sumo orange season, I always get on it. And then this is Jake's protein bar of choice. This is the Built Puff Cookie Dough Chunk protein bar. And then the last thing that we got here, these are a new find for me. You guys saw me eat them in a couple vlogs ago. I love having options like this. I want quick, easy, grab, go options for nights that I don't want to cook, nights I'm exhausted, whatever. Tonight, I might be having this. So what I love about these, this has 29 grams of protein, and for a frozen meal, incredible. So I got us a couple of the buffalo mac and cheese. And then they also had this creamy bacon Alfredo mac and cheese. This one has 31 grams of protein. A few more things I want to say about our groceries. You guys have seen my process for how I make the grocery plan. I sit down, I look at our week, I make a list. That is also a way that I save money. So that was another question that I got, was like, how am I saving money? For example, this buffalo chicken dip, I already have so many of the ingredients because I literally made it last week. So I might as well just make it again. If you're fine eating the same things over and over and over, I feel like that's a really easy way to save money as well, because even our steak bowls, steak quesadillas, we have the cheese, we have the meat, we have the salsa, the sour cream, like everything else that we need to go with this we already have. And then what I'll actually do is I'll use some of the lettuce from this for my bowl. We have the rice in the freezer. We just get the Trader Joe's organic jasmine, super quick and easy. And then again, being realistic, eating healthy and having goals and ambitions doesn't mean every single thing has to be like freshly made and all of that. I love having these on hand because these help me stick to my goals and help me eat in a way that's getting my protein in. I'm getting in the meals that I want to get in. And I am just such a fan of being realistic as opposed to idealistic. So this is our grocery shop for the week. I'm gonna put all of this away and I'm starving. So I also need to make myself some lunch, but I'm so excited to have these devours. They are so good. They're so good. And I'm really not a freezer meal kind of girl. These are so good. I have literally a million things that I want to say right now, but I'm so hungry. I cannot focus on anything until I eat. So we're gonna make my lunch together. I am currently using a food scale. I am currently tracking all of my food as well, so I'll talk more about that, but let me get all of my ingredients. I'm going to adjust the angle just a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. But this is my buffalo chicken dip, tried and true. I make this all of the time. Usually I prep it up and mix it all up and have it like ready to go, but this week I just didn't want to. So I have all of the ingredients separately, which is great because I can show it to you. So I have my chicken here, which I think for this one, I'm just gonna finish off the chicken. I think this is like exactly, oh yeah, exactly. So the reason that I'm weighing out my food and tracking all of my food is because I'm really focused on building muscle. So this is very different than losing weight for me in particular. I really want to see strength gains, muscle gains, and I really want to focus on a body recomposition, which essentially means losing fat and building muscle at the same time, which is actually pretty difficult to do. And most of that is going to come from nutrition. I'm trying to be extremely on it with my nutrition to make sure I'm eating enough protein, eating enough fiber, eating enough calories. And I have found that tracking that is kind of the only way that makes sense for me in my brain. So I did a Laughing Cow cheese, and then I'm gonna do 2 tablespoons of this buffalo sauce. I will say it's kind of nice to do it this way with the food scale because it makes it so quick and so easy and way less dishes than if I like busted out all of my measuring spoons. I do need a half tablespoon though. That's gonna be for the ranch seasoning. And then this is also nice because I can just heat it up and then mix it. I don't have to like sit and mix it when it's all cold, which is definitely kind of the hardest part of this recipe. So I do half a tablespoon of the ranch, and then I do half a cup of the Greek yogurt. So essentially right now, what I am personally tracking is I am tracking at my maintenance calories. There's a pretty like standard formula you can use to find out what your maintenance calories are. And then I'm also trying to eat 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. Now, I'm pretty far into my health and wellness journey, like years and years and years and years, and I have a lot of education in it. So where I'm at is probably gonna be very different than where you're at. So I share all of this and I'm reminding you, this is me, this is my journey. Let me put this in the microwave. I just don't want you to see this and then think like, oh, this is exactly what I should do and I should track my food, because most people don't like tracking their food. I'm doing it right now to use it as a tool to make sure I'm eating enough, make sure I'm getting enough protein, seeing how many calories are in things, and it also allows me to have flexibility because I can fit my favorite things in. Like on Friday, we ate at Chipotle. It fit into my calories absolutely beautifully. I got enough protein in, and it's just a tool that I'm using right now because, again, putting on muscle can be kind of a challenge and something that you really have to have your nutrition dialed in for. So that is a little bit of what I'm doing right now. I plan on tracking at maintenance for about a month. And then I'm gonna just kind of see where I'm at, see what I weigh, see how my body's looking. And then for true recomposition, you can also do a little bit of a deficit. So like a 100 to 200 calorie deficit a day, which honestly is a pretty small deficit, which feels really good because I don't wanna be in a deficit anymore. I was in a deficit for most of 2025. And while I was really happy with the progress I made, I definitely was in a deficit for too long and started to have symptoms and hormone things that just weren't aligning with the way that I want my body to feel, if that makes sense. Anyways, that is a little bit about what I'm doing right now to prep for my wedding and to also become the healthiest version of myself. I'm putting on half a serving of cheese on the top, and then I'm gonna heat this. So I did 30 seconds. I'm gonna put this back in the microwave for 1 minute and 30 seconds. And while that is going, I'm gonna measure out my sides. So I'm gonna do carrots and chips. You guys know, this literally is not anything new. This is just the way that I personally really like to eat this. And then if I'm at home and not at work, I like to finish this off with just a little bit of flaky sea salt on top. I love salt, and I specifically love flaky sea salt. I'm gonna take a second, I'm gonna eat this, and then we will chat more things body recomp. We are back. The next thing that I like to do after grocery shopping is prep anything that will make my week easier. This week I actually barely have anything to prep, which is incredible. I'm gonna prep a couple of onions. I'm gonna prep our apples. I'm gonna prep carrots, and then I'm also gonna prep the chips for my buffalo dip. So I'm gonna start with the apples. Now, the reason that I do this is simply just so the food gets eaten. Because I don't know about you, but at the end of a long day, I just don't want to cut stuff up. I don't want to prep things. When I'm watching a show at night, I don't want to have to cut up an apple. I know that might sound so lazy, but it's just the truth. And so taking the like 20-30 minutes to just quickly get this done makes me actually stick to eating fiber, makes me actually use the onion in the dish instead of being like, oh, I just don't want to do it. Super small. If you don't feel like you have to do that, that's great, then don't do it. But something that I like specifically talk about with my clients and something that I try and do with myself is removing resistance. So the weeks that we don't cut up our apples, I promise you they sit in our fridge, just in the bottom drawer, don't get eaten. If I cut them up, I'm much more likely when I'm grabbing a snack at the end of the night to be like, ooh, an apple sounds good, like let me throw that with it. Or if I'm running out the door to work, I can easily grab it as a side dish for my meal to get some fiber in. So it's just a small thing that works well for me. The apples do turn brown. They taste the exact same. I'm not somebody who wants to like put lemon on them or anything like that because it affects the taste. I would rather have just a little bit of brown on my apple. It does not bother me. It doesn't affect the taste or the texture. So this is something I do every single week, and I try and time it into my grocery shopping. So I kind of like to think of this as part of that task. And some weeks it's bigger than others. Some weeks it's making egg bites. Some weeks it's fully meal prepping the buffalo dip. This week it's actually a pretty easy week, which is great. I am just such a fan of doing anything that I can to make my week easy. I would rather take the 10 minutes of prepping so that I'm actually eating the things that I'm buying. Jeez, sometimes I swear this thing is like just as much work as using just a normal knife. Apples are done. I'm gonna seal these up. I don't do this with the berries because I find that the berries specifically get super moldy. I've tried different types of storing them. I've tried paper towels. Like no matter what I do, they get moldy. So that is something that day of, I just portion them out, cut them up, whatever it might be. Oh, I think I didn't finish what I was talking about removing the resistance, or did I? My brain is all over the place. So what I mean by that is during my week, if I have the apples in the fridge, say for example, I just simply won't grab for them. I won't eat them. And as a pretty picky eater, getting fiber in my diet can be kind of tricky for me. So I then reflect on that and I'm like, okay, what is the solution to that? If I'm having a challenging time with that, how can I make it easier for myself? And literally just cutting them up before the week starts is a way for me to easily fix that resistance. Same with weighing these things out, measuring these things out. It makes tracking my food easier because I know I'm having a serving of chips. It makes getting ready for work easier because if I'm doing a million things leading up to going to work and then just need to grab my lunch and go, makes it so easy. When I'm starving and ravenous, I can just eat. Like, it just makes my life better. It's something that I really think is worth the time, the energy, the effort. And then the other thing that I usually like to do while I'm doing this is put on a show. Any chores that I don't enjoy doing, if I just put on a show, a podcast, a YouTube video, voice memo with my friends, it makes it just that much more enjoyable. And then it can almost kind of double as relaxation time. I'm not doing that today because I'm vlogging with you, but typically that is what I do. I'm gonna put these in my pantry. Carrots are another one that I love to have portioned out because again, it's something so easy to just grab with a snack, whether it's on the way to work or whatever, with my buffalo dip, with our pasta, just like an easy way to get some fiber and nutrients in our diets. This carrot is scary. I'm not a big fan of the scary carrots though. And let's see, I'm talking to you while I'm doing this and it's been 7 minutes so far. So I think in total, this will maybe take me maybe 15 minutes total. And then some weeks when I really don't feel like doing this, whether I'm just sick of it, I need a break, I'm too busy, whatever it might be, I'll just spend a little bit of extra money and buy things pre-portioned. I find that so easy. Like if I know I'm making a guac, I'll just buy the red onion already chopped sometimes just to be like, okay, one less thing I have to do. So sometimes I also find that it's worth doing that. But if I have the time, I do like to just do it myself because it is like a significant difference in the cost. Now I'm gonna crack my onions and I'm actually gonna do it on a plate. I was gonna do it on a cutting board, but to be honest, I do not want to have to wash it. So I'm gonna make it easy on myself. And I'm just gonna use a little plate and just cut it like this. So I need 2 different types of onions. I need diced and then I also need sliced. So this first one I'm gonna do the diced because it's so easy. Take the skin off. Cut it into chunks. And then I have one of my favorite little kitchen gadgets. This is just a Ninja. I actually don't even know what this is called, but it's basically just a chopper. So I'm gonna put the onion in here. It's super easy. Container. First one done. Now we have our second one. This one I'm gonna cut into little slices for our burger bowls. I'm also using a knife that I don't have to hand wash because I don't want to hand wash today. So again, I'm just making my life a little bit easier. Cutting these really, really thin as I can with this knife that's literally not meant for this, but that's okay. Ow, my eyes are starting to burn. Ow! Ow, ow, ow. Oh my gosh. Okay. Ow, oh my gosh. Next thing, I literally just pushed my supplement container out of the way. I'm already ahead of myself. I'm gonna fill up my supplements. This is a huge huge priority for me, not only with the body recomposition, but also just my overall health. So once these are empty, I like to fill them up. I actually should have filled them up this morning, but I waited to fill them up with you, so it's no problem at all. But I'll talk you through what I'm currently taking. And again, this is just what I'm taking. This doesn't mean this is what you should be taking, but I'll talk you through kind of what I am working with. So for the morning, I'm currently taking a multivitamin. I'm taking that from Thorne. Thorne is one of my absolute favorite brands when it comes to vitamins. They do third-party testing. Their ingredients are incredible. So I'm taking a multivitamin. I do that in the morning. Vitamin D, I'm taking this, especially living in Minnesota during the winter. I'm not getting enough sunlight. It's actually been proven that Minnesota only gets enough sunlight 6 weeks out of the year for your vitamin D levels to be adequate. So I like to supplement with that. I'm also supplementing a fish oil. This one is omega-3 with CoQ10. I really like CoQ10. It's really great for energy, but it's also really incredible for egg health, which is important to me. I want my eggs to be as healthy as they can be, especially as I age. And then I'm also taking Thorne Stress Balance. Oh, I'm just about out of this one. So I kind of cycle on and off of a stress balance supplement. However, with the wedding and just like a lot of personalized stress, I thought it was a good idea. This is really, really good to support adrenals. My adrenals were so freaking fatigued after graduate school that I really like to try and prioritize those as best I can. I also supplement with magnesium citrate. This is really great for digestion. I do this in the evening, so I do 2 capsules of that. I kind of adjust it just based on how my digestion is doing. I am actually pretty deficient in both magnesium and potassium, so those are things that I like to make sure stay in my supplement routine. And then I also have magnesium glycinate. I do 2 capsules of that as well. And then I also do a probiotic for gut health. This is the Mega Spore Biotic from Microbiome Labs. I love Microbiome Labs, and I do this at night just because then it's kind of like an even amount of pills in the morning and in the night. That's everything that I'm taking supplement-wise. Put that all in here. And then you guys know my trick. I like to keep my supplements on the counter so that I remember to take them. So I'm gonna take my Sunday morning right now. It's far enough away from PM that I can still take it. Beautiful. The other thing that I'm taking is creatine. My battery's about to die. Hold. We're back. The other supplement that I'm currently taking is creatine. Creatine is one of the most researched supplements, and it's incredible for exactly what I'm working on, which is body composition, trying to lift as heavy as I possibly can. The reason that I got this juice and said that I would talk to you about it later is because I have tried mixing creatine with so many different things, and I've actually found that it makes me pretty nauseous. So I was talking with one of my patients, and they said that they just mix it in a little bit of juice, chug the juice, and then they're done with it for the day. And again, when we're talking about eliminating the resistance, I haven't taken my creatine in over a week because I just don't like it. I don't like mixing it with the electrolytes. I don't like it, just wasn't working for me. So I was like, okay, let me find something that does work. So let's try this together. I did think that I was getting like a sugar-free juice. I didn't end up getting a sugar-free juice, which maybe that will be better, but this is pretty high cal, which is fine because I'm really not going to do that much of it. So I'm going to take the 1 scoop of my creatine. I'm gonna put that into my cup, and I am gonna measure how much of the juice I do just so I know going forward, like, okay, that wasn't enough or that was too much, whatever. And again, the goal is so that I can just chug it and not have to taste it. It doesn't really have a taste. It has a little bit of a texture, and then for whatever reason, it makes me just kind of nauseous throughout the day. So maybe I start with like 3 ounces. I'm also really not like a juice person. Okay, this is 3.5 ounces. I think I could just mix it with a spoon. Big thing for me with health and wellness is it has to feel effortless and it has to feel easy. And if it doesn't, then you're just not gonna do it long term. And I knew that with the creatine. I was just like, I'm just not gonna stick to this. Like, I don't enjoy it. I don't look forward to it. The supplements are so easy for me to take. So anyways, oh, it's looking very grainy in there. I'm gonna keep mixing. It's still looking pretty grainy. Let's try a sip. Well, there's still some Oh, geez. There's still some in the cup here. So I think I need to do a little bit more juice to get that out. Gritty, but it didn't taste bad. So I feel like I could do that, and I could obviously play around with what juice I choose to do it with. It also would have been better for me had I prepped my water, because my water's just got out. So I need to fill this up, take a couple sips of water, and I guess we'll see if I get nauseous as the day goes on. Maggie is currently on her way here because we're gonna work on some wedding stuff together. And one thing I wanted to prep before she got here is a little DIY that I feel like me and her could very easily do together. I have these matches from our housewarming party. They say a toast to our first house, Courtney and Jake. I ordered these on, I believe it was Zazzle, and now looking back, it's like, wow, I literally could have just made these myself for probably a fraction of the price. But the nice thing is I didn't sticker them all. So a lot of them are just fully blank. And so I know people say like don't spend your money on wedding favors, and like I get that, but I already have them, so I'm like I might as well. And I already have the exact fonts that we've been using on Canva, so I feel like I can just so easily come up with what I want to put on these. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go on Canva right now. I'm gonna come up with what I want to say on the matches. Oh, first things first, I need to measure the match, because Canva does have that feature where you can use a ruler, so I can measure out exactly what I want. So this is about 2 1/4 by a little less than 1 1/2. I'm trying to think of like what I'd like them to say. I do think a perfect match would be really cute, so maybe I'll just look up on Pinterest really quick. Oh, some people just did like an initial. Some people did a photo. Wow, that's fancy. Their names and the date. Names and the date. I wonder if Canva has a template. Okay, nothing on Canva for that. You know who might though is Etsy. That was so much harder than I thought it was gonna be. I had to just turn the camera off and focus up. But I have a couple of designs that I'm going to try. I'm gonna print them off just on a regular paper so we can see if we like them. And then if I do, I'm gonna perfect things. Oh, I forgot to remove the dotted lines, but that's okay. I actually ended up ripping one of these to measure it because I realized the sticker could go all the way around. So we're starting with just regular paper so we can test it. Why is my printer blinking? Printer is working. Okay, it says it's working. Okay, let me get my cutter. Okay, let's see. Okay, it's kind of hard to see, but I'm gonna cut these just so I can get a visual and then I can perfect. Okay, let's see. Oh, the size isn't right. Look, it's too small. I thought I had the dotted lines where the fold go, so this is too small. Interesting. Okay, and then I have this one that I also made. It's like a little locket with a C and a J, and then it says a perfect match. Okay, that does look pretty cool. And then the locket here. The color is just like really, really dark when it's printed out. I did these cute little swans, so I feel like I still need to perfect the design. Then I also need to perfect the size. All right, we're like 1/4 of an inch too short, so I need to update that. And then let me see if I can make this better. I resized it, so now I want to try printing that and see if the size is right. And I also edited the background to be a little bit less dark because this feels a little bit too dark and it doesn't really match our color palette. So let me print this and see what we're working with. I have like 15 minutes until Maggie gets here. So my goal is to have it at least done so that I can print it when she's here. Let's see. I have my color palette here. Okay, this color looks a lot better. Here's the first, and then here's the second. And then here's our color palette. Ooh, it does look cute with it. Okay. I like it. I need the text to be like more bold. Oh, let me check if the size works too, because I did adjust that. Wow, this is actually turning out to be a little bit more complicated than I thought, because in my head I was like, oh, we'll just easily just do like one little rectangle, and then I realized that the sticker could actually wrap around the entire box. There's that. Where's my matchbox? Oh, there we go. Okay, that is actually pretty dang perfect. It seems like it's a tiny bit short. I actually like how that looks. I think that looks pretty dang good. I think the only thing is I need to move the locket down. The locket with the initials needs to move down. Honestly, I do like the way a perfect match looks. It's just subtle, it's simple. Now I'm gonna repeat this and do a couple different designs. This is turning out to be a way bigger project than I expected, but I have 2 mock-ups now that I think I'm satisfied with. So let's try this and just see what we think. We're gonna print it one more time, we're gonna measure it out, and then what's really nice is I can ask Maggie her opinion on it. Print, okay. I have lots of scraps here. Okay, so here is the striped one now. So I made it a little bit longer so that we can play around with that. So let's see. This I'm gonna have to cut off. I'm gonna fold it where I need to cut it. Cut off just a little bit extra because I don't want any white showing if I can prevent it. Okay, that's actually perfect. So here's the little locket and then the perfect match. I feel like this could move up just a little bit, and so could this. And then I also made this one, a little white version, just for some contrast. The sizing of this one is a little bit off. I honestly kind of like the white one a little bit more, but I feel like they would go well together. But I think Maggie is here. Yes, hold please. A project that I thought would take 20 minutes, right? I said Maggie will be here in 20 minutes. It's now been 2 hours. We just printed off our first round of the stickers. Okay, that looks pretty dang good. It was about 15 iterations. I tried doing like this cute little border. Didn't work because to line it up with the box is too confusing. The box is like 3/8 everywhere, so it's really hard on Canva to line it up because the way Canva does measurements is intense. So to convert, nightmare. So we have the cutter now. We printed off 4 of them. We also played around with doing like black font versus the lighter font. We ended up obviously going with the lighter font because here is the color palette for the wedding. And I do have the container that I wanna put them in. You can kind of see like side by side. This is a little bit more dark and moody. I feel like this would be perfect for like a maroon wedding. We're not doing maroon though, so the lighter color's better. I think you're gonna love the container that they're gonna go in. Okay, so now the moment of truth. We're gonna cut these.
This is gonna work.
And just the tiniest hair over, right? Mm-hmm. Tiniest little hair over. I'm scared. Ooh, okay, it's cutting nice.
That was really nice.
That was really nice. Okay. The tiniest hair over. Yeah, that's why I forget to get the blade, because I'm like, well, it's working just fine.
Until you use actual paper.
Yeah, and then it's a nightmare. I wish all of wedding planning was like this and not hiring people, because this is fun.
This is fun.
It's so easy and like, it gets you off your phone.
Therapeutic.
Yeah. Do you want to do the honors? Oh, is it going to be so hard to get it lined up?
Oh.
Oh, it's the tiniest bit long, but you know what? I'm pretty satisfied. It's not perfect. No one's gonna know though.
I don't know what I did.
Mine's a little short.
Okay.
It's the tiniest bit.
Mine is too, but that's honestly like
pretty dang good, right? And we're just in like a little container. No one's gonna.
Also, you made them yourself.
Yeah.
There's gonna be
for the next
a human touch. We just won't cut as much.
Yes.
And what we can do is if it goes over, we can just take like a tiny little, because do you have like a cuticle scissors or something? You could just cut.
Good call.
Along there. Looks
or
so
like
good,
an X-Acto knife.
Yeah.
It does look so good. I'm gonna try bringing it down just the tiniest bit there too.
Okay.
Since I already cut these. Yeah, that actually worked perfect. It's like the tiniest sliver there.
Yes, okay.
Oh! Okay, I feel satisfied.
I think this color looks good with the match like striker too.
It does. Okay, let me send Jake a photo. Usually I get his approval before I do something. Okay, we've made it downstairs. Wanted to show you, this is the bowl that I got for the matches. I got 2 of them from Target. This is Target's little like Valentine's Day collection. I do need to take the sticker off, which I'm gonna do with my blow dryer because that just gets it off without all of the residue. But that's kind of how I modeled the color of the matches, is I knew that this was kind of like a maroony, darker pink. We have all of our sheets. Now we just need to cut them out and stick them on, which is honestly a fun part. You can get a little production line going. Since we talked, me and Maggie got so much done. We got all of the match boxes completely done. Those are all set, ready to go. We completely redid our wedding timeline. We had a meeting with our day of coordinator a couple months ago, and I think I was being a little bit too passive during the meeting. She started making the timeline, and in the moment I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense, And then reflecting back on it, I'm like, I don't know, this doesn't make sense for how small of a wedding we're having, how small of a getting ready party I'm having. Like, I don't know, the day just felt like dun 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 dun. No time for lunch, no time for like a break, no time for the marriage license. Like, it just didn't make any sense to me. We completely redid it. We made an Excel spreadsheet that's color coded for every single person who's involved in the wedding, who's gonna be there, what time they're coming, what time they're leaving, what they're expected to do, certain jobs. Like, we were talking through little things that I want done for the wedding, and we figured out like who's gonna do them. So that felt really, really good. And that probably took us like 3 hours because we would do something and then we'd double check it and we'd run into an issue. Oh, we want Maggie to do this, so she can't be getting her hair done at this time. And it was just like a whole thing. So I feel really, really good about that. And then her husband was so kind and made us homemade chicken noodle soup. He made that for us like a year ago, and it was one of the best soups I've ever had in my life. So he was super generous and he made that for us again today, which was really nice after the end of like doing all of that wedding planning stuff. And I feel like I've kind of had like a pretty productive day. So it was really nice to just like have dinner ready. The next thing that I want to do is I actually want to make a habit tracker for my body recomposition, and I thought it would be perfect to put that in this video because what I had been doing is writing all of my daily goals on one of these little to-do lists and then crossing it out every day, but I found I wasn't sticking with that. So again, removing the resistance, this wasn't working for me. And I actually saw one of the girls that I follow, she had like a whole month and she would like check off each day by coloring it in. So I'm curious if on Canva, if I can find a little habit tracker. Sorry, I'm like staring at my hair because I'm trying not to use heat, so I didn't use any heat on it today and it's kind of feeling a little bit flat. But I'm curious if I search up like a habit tracker template, if I could create a template exactly how I want it to look. So I thought I would show you that, and then I could talk through maybe some of the goals that I'm also working towards. So let me see. Oh, I think this is like the exact one that she was using. This is actually perfect. This one's really similar to the one that I give my clients too. Let me show you this. Here's what I'm seeing. What I'm thinking is maybe I change this font. Okay, that one's fine. And then let's change the color. I'm gonna change it to my brand color. Perfect. So habit number 1, AM supplements. I'm gonna download this and I'm gonna print it, and then I'll talk to you a little bit more about these goals. I wonder how many steps I've even gotten today. Probably not very many. 3,000. Not great. That was seriously so easy. So I have my little habit tracker here, and what I'm gonna do is, because I didn't start this until I'm gonna start it tomorrow. I'm gonna do January. I'm gonna just cross out all of the days that I didn't do. I'm just gonna cross that out. Actually, you know what I should do? Maybe I should just black these days out with my marker so it looks nice. I could have also blacked them out on Canva. That probably would have looked better. Update. I printed it with a black box on the days that have already happened, just so I don't have to worry about coloring it in, because coloring it in was looking so freaking bad. And if I'm gonna look at this every single day, I want it to be beautiful. So essentially I have all of my goals here, and then there's extra space so I can add more in here. And then for every day you can color in the box. And what I love about this is I feel like it will be so rewarding to see how many days I'm doing so many incredible things for my body and for my health. I'll kind of talk you through some of the goals. So I have my morning supplements, my creatine, and my night supplements. Taking supplements is something that is really, really, really important to me. And for the most part, I nail that almost every day except for my creatine. And probably like 2 to 3 nights a week. Probably like 1 night a week, I forget my PM supplement. So I feel like this will motivate me even more to make sure that I'm doing that. And then same thing with the creatine. I do feel a little bit nauseous again today, but I'm just gonna keep at it. The taking the shot was much easier, and I feel like every morning with breakfast, I can just like easily do that. So I'm gonna just keep doing that. Workout, I personally choose to work out 4 times a week. It's what works really well for my schedule, my job, my body. It just works well for me. So I have 4 times a week on here so that I know that there's gonna be a lot of missing squares, and that's totally okay. Steps, I want to continue getting at least 7.5 thousand steps most days. Again, you saw I did not get that today. It's totally okay, but what I would like to see is how often I'm getting it, because I've been trying really hard to make it a habit to get more steps, and so I want to see that I'm doing that even though I live in Minnesota and it's cold and I'm not able to get outside as much. And then I want to hit my protein goal every single day if I can. My fiber goal, I've really been working on my fiber as well, because I know it's so incredible for my gut health. And as a picky eater, I really like to make sure I'm hitting my fiber goal, because I'm probably more guilty than the average person of like not hitting my fiber goal. And then tracking my calories, I want to see how many days I'm able to do that so that I can see if the calories that I'm eating are working, you know? Also, I just realized they have December on here and it's spelled DES. December does not have an S. That's okay. And then sleep 8 hours. I have noticed that I feel my absolute best when I get 8 hours of sleep. So I think this will be a really fun way of like really showing myself how much time and energy and effort I'm pouring into my body and into my health. And I think that's all for this vlog. I wanted to just take you through a Sunday in my life. We haven't done like a day in the life vlog in so long. So if you have any questions on any of the things that I shared or any of the things that I'm doing, please let me know. This is just like the tip of the iceberg, and as a reminder, this is just what I'm doing. This isn't at all me telling you what you should do with your body or your health, but I'm really excited. I'm excited to see what happens. I've never ever done a body recomposition before. I've never had the current goals that I have, so I'm excited to see how all of that goes. And now I'm gonna go take off my makeup and I'm gonna enjoy a little relaxation time. Jake is currently on his drive home, so I'm excited to hang out with him when he gets back. A couple of little work things that I'm gonna sneak in doing before the night is over. And I'm like rambling to stay hanging out with you, but I hope you have a great rest of your day whenever it is that you're watching this, and I will see you guys in the next vlog. Bye guys.